Hey guys, how y'all doing? I hope everybody is doing great, in the best of health, and you guys are keeping safe. And I'm always telling you guys to keep safe in this pandemic. So this video is pretty much about Prince is here. Prince Avery is here. He was born on August the 30th. August the 30th of 2020 at 10:58. I'll also be talking about the complication that I had with the surgery, and I also will be talking about I was supposed to have twins. Yes. So don't go nowhere. I'll be back. Hey guys. So today is the big day. I just got to the hospital. On my way to, ooh, babies, over. On my way to the labor and delivery department. You want me to hold the cup for you? This one? And the food? Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't eat anything. I am super, super hungry. Oh, let me tell you. So, I will keep you posted and wish me luck. So they just prepped me for surgery. So I'm just waiting for them now to come and get me pretty much. Wish me luck. Yeah, so that was pretty much that. So, I got to the hospital and, they checked me and whatever and got me a room and everything. And, while laying there, I missed my daughter so much because, she wasn't able to come. And I'm laying there and I'm nervous and I'm just praying, and I was texting my aunt, in England, keeping her updated about, everything was going on. Then they tested me for COVID, because they had to do that before I even went into surgery. So I had to actually wait on the result before anything happened. So I was there, like, that thing was so annoying because, after they did the COVID test with me, like, I was sneezing so bad, because, they stick the thing in your nostrils, so, yeah. And then after a while, it weared off, and then, they were prepping me and everything, for the surgery, so I think it was about... I got there about after 8, and I didn't go into surgery until after 9. And, I went in there, and it was so cold. The surgery room was so cold. I can remember. And, being nervous, I was on the table, and, before I even got there, they were telling me that I have to do a spinal anesthesia. So I'm like, why do I need to do a spinal anesthesia? I didn't have to do that with my daughter. So they were pretty much saying if I get the epidural, it's going to be risky for the baby. So the best way to do it is to do a spinal anesthesia so it doesn't harm him. So I'm like, this is ridiculous, because spinal, that's something that, I don't do, I don't like, and I never ever thought I would ever do that, because that thing can cripple you and whatever, so I was pretty hesitant about it, but then I'm like, it's for my child, so, I was thinking about it for a while before I even signed the consent about it, and then I did, so when they brought me up to the surgery room now, there was this, what do you call them, like the trainee doctor, nurses, yeah, I can remember. The room was cold, and they opened the back of my gown, and the nurse, there was a nurse in front of me, and you had a nurse behind me along with the trainee, which I should have never ever let a damn trainee go in my back, right? So anyways, the nurse in front of me held my hands, sorry, and they told me to, hunch my back and, move forward. And let me tell you, that was one of the scariest thing for me, believe you me, because while going, hunching my back, I feel this cold thing, which actually was the alcohol that were there, that they were cleaning the area first. But you get freaked out because you're like, you don't know when the needle is coming. And he put the needle in my back, and it didn't go where it's supposed to go. They had to take it out again, and I'm like, shit. So he did it again. It didn't go where it was supposed to go. So I said to them, you guys are killing me, man, because I mean, going in my back twice and it's not, it wasn't the right place. And that's when she took the needle from him, and as soon as she took it, and she did it one time, it went through, they put the liquid in and then everything, and she's like, okay, it's time for you to lay down, and I laid down, and then I start not feeling from my waist down, and then they start putting, oxygen on me and all those stuffs, and then the surgeon came in, he introduced himself, and they were preparing everything, and oh my gosh, I started smelling the burning flesh, so they started, going on, doing the C-section. So inside, when he got inside, he was like, well, there's another placenta. You're supposed to have twins. I'm like, what? I was supposed to have twins. Okay? And for those who know that, don't know, normally when you're supposed to have twins and you end up having one, the other baby eats the other one. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Two kids. That was crazy for me, Yeah, so after that, there was still and then I felt that tug, and then I heard, Prince crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, a relief. And then, I guess they did what they're doing, weighed my stuff, and then after they wrapped him up, they brought him over to me and showed him to me, and I smiled a little, but I was like, I need to get up, I just want to get over with it. And it was a joy, just to hear him cry. And he weighed 10 pounds 8 ounces. He was born at 10:58 a.m. Yep. He was the biggest baby in the hospital, and he was the talk of the hospital. Like, all the nurses, they would leave. Let me not go there. Well, yes, 10 pounds 8 ounces. So after that, now they, surgered me up and everything, and the surgery went well in terms of the C-section, and then they pulled me over now to the bed that they were gonna bring me into the room, and congratulated me once again. And then I went in the room. I'm in a pain. So that room that I went in, it was kind of like a waiting room now for them to get an actual room for me to stay in. So I thought the baby was in the room. So when I went in the room, the baby wasn't there. So I said, what's going on? They said that they had to bring the baby down to the NICU because he was breathing too fast. I started freaking out now because I thought that, I would have my baby with me, but that wasn't the case, so I was really down, I was really down about it. And then I'm like, I hope everything goes well, but I was leaving everything in God's hands, and then I was taking my uncle that lives in Jamaica. He has been such a tremendous, what should I say, a tremendous shoulder. Like, You know, he was always there texting me, making sure everything is fine. Cavern, thank you so much. You have been a shoulder. From the moment I went to the hospital, like he was just texting me. I would every time I doze off and I wake up, I would get either a picture or a message or a voice note or a song. You know, and it really helped me. You know, so after they got a room for me, you know, I had to now try to help myself because I literally couldn't feel nothing from my waist down, nothing at all. And after that, I got the room, and you know, I had to my child's father had to pull me from the bed to the actual bed that I'm supposed to stay on, you know, because I was in so much pain, you know, and I laid there, and I think I dozed off, and then I started feeling a lot of itching. Like my entire skin was itching me, and I'm like, why am I so itchy? So I told the nurse, and the nurse said it's from the drug, you know. I'm like, no, this is crazy. So they gave me a Benadryl, and I took the Benadryl, and it kind of helped, you know. And then I kind of turned myself, and like C-section, guys, it's no joke. It's no joke, pretty much. It's no joke. There's 2 specific nurses at that hospital, Nurse Amy and Nurse Kayan. You guys are tremendously awesome. And I said whenever I, you know, get a chance, I'm gonna go back and give them a gift. They were tremendous in terms of, you know, making sure I'm okay. I was comfortable. I was, whenever the pain comes on, you know, they make sure they wasn't hesitant about it, you know. And I really, really, really want to thank those 2 specific nurses. It didn't take me until about the 3rd day to actually see my son, because what happened was my child's father, he would go down to the NICU and video me for me to see the baby. And then on top of that, they wanted me to pump my breast to get milk. I was pumping every day, nothing until the Friday, because I was in the hospital for the week. And the Friday when I was supposed to go home, oh my gosh, my breasts were full, like literally full with milk, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was in so much pain. I wasn't able to bring home the baby because the baby ended up having jaundice. They had to have him under the blue light. He was such a precious baby. Like when I held him the first, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a blessing. It's really a blessing, you know. And you know, I was just staring at him. I was in pain, you know, so I was kind of had to hold him in certain ways so it doesn't, you know, my tummy, sorry. And you know, it was a blessing to see him, you know, because it's very sad for you to have your child for 9 months and then you're there and he's on the other building of the hospital, like, and you can't see him, you can't hold him, you can't hear him cry, you know. So it was really sad. And the moment, every time I get a chance, you know, I would go down with the wheelchair and look for him. I also had a complication, the spinal anesthesia. Every time I moved, the pain would go right up in my back and straight to my head. So it was caused from the, you know, the spinal anesthesia that I had. So they said it was a spinal headache. So I had to be wearing the neck rest around my neck. You know, when I try to get up, I would have to be holding my neck like this, and my head, it was awful. Like, so they were pretty much saying that, you know, I'm like, I said, this is crazy. You know, I said, I'm in a lot of pain. I said, from the C-section to my back, to my neck, to my head, you know. So they were pretty much saying that I have 2 options to get the pain. away. So they would either go back in my back to fill that spot with fluid, okay? And the other one was I had to drink caffeine. I'm like, hell no, y'all ain't going back in my back. So I'll take the caffeine way and see if it works. So I chose that, and I chose Diet Coke because I'm not a coffee person. So I chose Diet Coke, and, every time I'm in pain, I would drink the Diet Coke, and I'm like, is this getting better? I got pain pills for it, but they only had given me a certain amount because, those pain pills are, addictive. So after I stopped taking those, I had to go on Tylenol and drink the Diet Coke. So yeah, it was a scary feeling. The worst part about it was the spinal anesthesia. The spinal, it was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know if anyone has ever gotten a spinal anesthesia before, but you guys know what I'm talking about, and I'm so glad I got over it. And that's something I would never want to happen to me again. I don't think I would ever want that to happen to me again, because that needle going in your back, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess, but I am so happy that I got over it. It took me a couple months to try to recover, and the day I came home, I do not have an elevator. I live on the second floor, and it took me almost an hour and a half to get up. I think it's about 12 flight stairs. Yeah, about an hour and a half. Because that was like something that I'm like, oh my gosh, it was really worrying me, because I'm like, I gotta go up these stairs. But I did make it, and it was a hustle to even try to get up out the bed to even go use the restroom. It was just painful, because it was not just the C-section that I'm in pain with. It was my back and my neck and my head. You know what I'm saying? And then being home, I wasn't able to come home with the baby, so that was kind of stressing me out too, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need my baby, but it was a good thing that, Tahani was there, to kind of comfort me, and, until he gets home. So, they were pretty much saying that they're not going to send him home until he's eating the amount of milk that they want him to drink. So, he came home the Saturday. I came home the Thursday, and he came home the Saturday, which wasn't bad. So when they called me, because I called constantly to find out how he's doing, and pretty much that's what they really wanted, because they're like, he's okay, the jaundice is gone, they just want him to drink the amount of fluid that he's supposed to. So I was like, but if he doesn't want to drink, why are you guys forcing him? To myself, I didn't say that to them, but I'm like, if he doesn't want to drink, don't let him drink. But, they know what's best. So, I left it in their hands, and they called me the Saturday morning. They told me that, I have to come to the hospital because he's ready to be discharged. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go down these stairs again. So, I did make it down the stairs, and, I went, and I had to watch a video before I left about CPR. Yeah. And after I watched the video, then, they called the porter to come and bring me down, and I got my beautiful baby boy. Like, he was the talk of the hospital. Like, every time a nurse comes in the room, they were like, oh, you're the 10-pound baby mom. I'm like, yeah. When I was down at the NICU, and, I was in the room with him, the nurses would come in and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, mommy, but whenever we're on our shifts, we just have to come down and look on this baby. He's so adorable. Like, the nurses leave their shifts just to come and look at him, So he was the talk of the hospital the entire time. And, you know, I'm so grateful that I have him. And, you know, he's a blessing. He's a blessing. He's a blessing. And I know my mom would be completely, extremely happy and adore him, you know. So yes, so thank you guys for watching my video. I love you guys so much. We got a lot more to tell you. I am doing so much better now, to be honest with you, and I am so happy for that, because I hate to be just laying in bed, can't wait, mama. I hate to be just laying in bed, can't, and you know, helpless, you know. So I'm doing much better now. So thank you guys for watching my video. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Don't forget to comment. Don't be afraid to comment. Ask me questions. And I love you guys so much. Go ahead. You tell them.
Subscribe. It's a best. Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye. Hey guys. It's been 2 weeks now since I'm home. I'm in a lot of pain from the surgery. And I had a complication from the spinal anesthesia, so it's affecting my back, and it goes straight to my head, which gives me a spinal headache. So just keep me in your prayers. I'm still here.